At the times, I think we are so conditioned into thinking that there will be a day when we'll do something, and that's when people will recognize who you are.
And I do things that should be done, and I think that probably I could not.
I beg you guys to listen to me at this point of time. Just so many years of my life have changed into planning the future. So still, these are the things that I am. This is the person I want to become. And I realized lately that it doesn't translate like that. You have to do very all the time that you are present. The most important thing is whether you can convince yourself that you can do it or not. Sense of achievement होता है वो goals बाद में नहीं लेना sustain नहीं कर पाते हम. वो जो journey है वो 15 साल मेरे से जो मुझे feel हुआ जो experience हुआ वो मुझसे मेरे दिमाग से आप नहीं निकाल सकते.
From somebody else's point of view, maybe I am, but I know that I don't think that I take risks. I was while we were discussing all those important things on stage, this idea came, and I was like, let me write down what I thought. Well, I think it's extremely important. All the known knowns that we are very good at, I think we should also look at those known knowns with a different, from a different place, and we can come up with something very, very interesting. All the known unknowns that we are working on, I think we should take more chances with it, and we should be sure that unknown unknowns will hit us, and we should be okay with that fact.
So I think we are so conditioned into thinking that there will be a day when we'll do something, and that's when people will recognize who you are, and that will be the day. But then there is a thing in psychology which we call impact bias, where we have this tendency of overestimating the hedonic impact of anything that has to do with the future. So what we think is that, okay, if I get there, that is the thing, then everything will change. Or if I fail, then that's the end. But it doesn't happen like that. Like when I started making a lot of money when I was in TV, and money was a big differentiator in my life, by the way. And when people started recognizing me for the first time, it's a very strange feeling. But when they did, I was feeling I was very excited. I used to go to malls and all, so that people would just
you just go for just to be recognized.
I would do that. But after a point of time, say 3 months, 4 months, you get used to it, and you come back to the same mental state. So it is not what would drive you for the rest of your life. No matter how successful you are, no matter how rich or recognized you are, I think it's not pursuit of happiness, it's the habit of happiness. So when you do what you want to do, you don't care what people say.
I do things that should be done, and I think that probably I could not do, which keeps me engaged, betters me, and also we get to contribute in doing things that we should be doing.
Also, I'm seeing your career graph. It's been 5 years, but you've been like taking risky projects. Some worked, some didn't. Are you okay in that space?
That's exactly what I'm saying. The fundamentals that we are talking about here is actually very non-linear. It is like I cannot predict specifically what will happen, but I know that it is deterministic. 6 महीने में 3 चीजें ऐसी होंगी. क्या होंगी मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन 3 बार होती हैं. तो जब आप वो चीज़ें समझते हैं और तो फिर और गेम थ्योरी उसमें यूज़ कर लेते हैं कि यू नीड टू मिनिमाइज योर मैक्सिमम लॉस एंड टेक इट फ्रॉम देयर, यू कैन एक्चुअली जो इतने सारे डिस्ट्रप्शंस आएंगे एक्सपोनेंशियल टेक्नोलॉजी है, उससे बहुत फ़ायदा ले सकते हैं. और एग्जैक्टली वही मैं अपनी फिल्मों के साथ भी करता हूँ. मैं ऐसी पिक्चर लेता हूँ जो मुझे लगता है कि ये जस्ट मैं नहीं कर पाऊँगा, मतलब इतना मेरे में काबिलियत नहीं है, लेकिन वो अपने आप को प्रूव करने में मैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कर लेता हूँ. एंड दैट इज़ द इंटेंट ऑफ डूइंग इट. आई मीन लाइक यू नो दैट मनी एंड फेम आफ्टर अ पॉइंट they're not the driving forces, but your own expectation of whether you will be able to do it keeps you engaged, happy, successful.
I think it's my personal opinion, and I might be wrong, but this is what I've felt, that I was lied most of the times. I was told that, you know what, be number 1, number 2, and you'll get acknowledgement, you'll earn a lot of money, and that is success, and that will be the answer of all your problems. And let me tell you, these two things were very, very important differentiators in my life. I didn't have much money when I was growing up, and I was a shy kid, so any sort of acknowledgement would also mean a lot. Yeah. But what I got to know was when I started having it, after a point, say, what do you call that, point of inflection or something? Yeah. So after that point, that I became so immune to it that it was not giving me any kick.
Okay.
And if I was doing something which I didn't like to do, for these two things, now imagine what would I do for next 20, 30 years. I don't like doing that, and even money and fame that people told me would be the differentiators, they have stopped giving me any kick. So I think it's extremely important, very, very important. I just beg you guys to listen to me at this point of time. Just identify the thing that you actually like doing. If you can be successful in something that you don't like doing, and I think you'll be extremely successful in things that you actually like doing. And you.
See, initially, like for the first many years of my life, I was completely into planning my future. So I was thinking, oh, these are the things that I want to do. This is the person I want to become. And I've realized lately that it doesn't translate like that. You end up losing all the time that you have at present. And so I've realized this, but thankfully I have, that everything that's there in the past and in the future is intangible. We can't do anything about it. The only thing that we have in our hand is like right now. I'm talking to you and I'm 100% here.
Most important thing is whether you can convince yourself that you can do it or not. We generally have an idea of our potential, and because of that, we take certain actions. Because of that, we get some result, and that reinforces the belief that okay, that was the correct idea of our potential. So I use this, fundamental law of success every time I was supposed to make a very important decision in my life. Even dropping out.
I don't think that I take risks. Like I'll give you an example that when you play a video game and you are sorted with the first level, what do? You are intrigued that what would happen in the second level, and that's the only way to go. So I try and choose scripts in which the characters I don't completely understand. And this is precisely the reason why I do it, because I don't know. So I think this thing, everybody should understand, that it is okay not to know. It is okay to admit that I don't know. And it is okay to like unpredictability. Because when once in 10 times, or probably 100 times, when you stumble upon something which is new, fresh, that is so addictive that you don't care about the 99 times that you fail.
मैं पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुका हूँ. एक छोटा सा सपना था जो मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा था. मुझे हमेशा बचपन से लगता था यार मैं एक बार रेंज रोवर खरीदूं. और ये सपना मुझे लगता है 6th या 7th ग्रेड में मैंने देखा था. तो उसको हुए अभी कुछ 15 साल हो गए. मैं 15 साल से ये सपना मेरे से इतना क्लोज था. मैंने उसको बचा के रखा, उसके साथ खेला, उसको देख के खुश हुआ. और जिस दिन आज से 1 साल पहले सुबह सुबह मेरे पास वो रेंज रोवर आई थी, मैं बहुत खुश हुआ. दिन में भी मुझे याद आ रहा था तो मैं बहुत खुश हो रहा था. शाम तक आई वॉज सो इम्यून एंड सो यूज्ड टू द आइडिया ऑफ हैविंग अ रेंज रोवर. और मुझे लगा यार मैं तुम्हें 15 साल से अपने साथ रखा हूँ और तुमने मुझे एक दिन में छोड़ दिया. तो फिर आपको पता चलता है कि आप ये सेंस ऑफ अचीवमेंट होता है, वो गोल्स पाके नहीं उतने देर तक सस्टेन नहीं कर पाते आप. वो जो जर्नी है, वो 15 साल मेरे से जो मुझे फील हुआ है, जो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है, वो मुझसे मेरे दिमाग से आप नहीं निकाल सकते. इसलिए मैं शायद प्रोसेस पे ज़्यादा मैं